Can you?
Okay, I hear you, but I don't see you. Oh, wait, there you are. Okay, got it.
And then does this just like record?
I think it should. It's so bad. Like yesterday, I was with Audrey and she had hers and she like didn't push start broadcast, so it didn't record. And Shannon was like, you guys have to re-record your video.
What?
I was like, I we can't do that. Like, we don't have another time we can all meet. She's like, well, then you're all going to lose 6 points. She was like, we did the video, it just didn't work. Like, it's the first time.
Oh, I was so upset.
I know, but I clicked it, so we should be good. Hopefully.
Okay, I wrote some notes.
Yeah, I did
so let me get all of that, and then I'll pull you up next to. Oh, hell yeah, there we go. I'm just gonna be casually eating while we do this.
Don't worry, fine. I can't believe nobody responded. I'm so annoyed.
Like, we decided on a time for a reason.
I know, and like I emailed, like in the first email, like I sent my phone number out, so I figured like Rita would text me then, and then like the one, like it came back from Jade and it said that email address was wrong, but then she like added us to a Google Hangout like last night, super late, that email address, and I was like, hey, like I just want to get in contact with you, like my number, like we're gonna talk tonight, and she like never reached out. It's like, okay, like I've been checking my email and like checking the Google Doc, and I was like, whatever. There's only so much you can do.
Honestly, oh, that's so annoying. Whatever, it's not our grade on the line.
I know. I was like, well, it doesn't affect me. Well, hopefully, I emailed Shannon and I was like, I assume it doesn't affect our grades. Like, I hope I'm right in assuming that.
Yeah, because we decided on a time.
Right? Like we all talked about, and everybody like in that sheet was like, yeah, that works for me.
Exactly.
Like, don't say it and then go missing. It's not my fault.
Annoying. So what do we? I'm very confused on what we even talk about.
I just wrote down like she put like the 3 like description of the instructional strategy, description of the lesson plan, and then types of strategy. Like that's what I took notes on. And then like in the lesson plan for mine, it had like 2 of the UDL things. So I wrote those down, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I was really confused. So I like wrote a description of like what the strategy is, like a description of like the lesson plan, and then like types of technology. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's the same thing I did. She's not super clear. Hopefully she doesn't watch this. She's not super clear on the directions.
I know. I'm a little confused.
But I feel like everybody is. There's a couple people like in my class before the one we have together that are in this class, and they're like, we don't know what to do. But then someone like, took it last semester, and she was like, the first couple weeks are rough, but like you'll get the hang of it. And I was like, I hope so.
Okay. I'm hopeful that it gets better.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. Cool. Let's do this.
Okay. I guess I'll just talk about. So I did pre-writing. And then like the definition for it is includes choosing a topic and identifying purposes and an audience. Your guidance gives struggling writers the direction they need to begin generating ideas. So basically like the whole thing is like, you know, like when you're in school and you like start with like a brain map and you like write down all the words that connect to your like topic, and then you like connect them and like how they're connected and how you can like make it flow in writing.
Yeah.
Pretty much what it is. And then it just says like you can guide students by like walking around and asking them like how did you choose your topic and like why and like what audience you're going to use and like what genre, like what's different about the way you're writing and like how would you write if you're writing it differently. And then the lesson plan, she used it like in a science project, and so before they started she talked about like how is this lab report like different than if we were writing a narrative, like what are we going to have to do differently, and like, and so the kids were like, oh, like we have to like use facts and we have to like show what we learned, like it's not just what we think. and then she provides a template, and then so the kids like have an idea of like where they're headed. So the lab report, like the final lab report, isn't like paragraphs; like it's like in a template.
Okay.
And then the kids like write down like on a separate sheet of paper like what they could fit in each like template box and like how like what they are thinking can connect to something on the template.
Okay.
So it's like kind of a way of like narrowing down the information.
Yeah.
And then she used a document camera to like demonstrate her template and model it. And then it linked a bunch of websites that you can use that like you can like make those brainstorm things on, which I had never seen before. So that was cool. Like that's a strategy I think that I'll probably end up using someday, is that like you can like connect things and like drag them around. So it's not like you're super committed like when you're writing in pen to like cross things out and stuff. It's much neater, which I really liked.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I feel like it's super good for like visual learners because you can see all your thoughts like mapped out.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And then she uses a smartboard and tablet, which I feel like is like the way education's going. Like everyone uses a smartboard for everything now.
Okay.
And then they're building like a digital writing portfolio.
Oh, okay.
Like that at that young, they start like building a portfolio like via Google Docs, and then like when you move up, you can like see how much you've grown and like throughout the year, stuff like that.
Cool. That's really cool. So I had like the semantic mapping, which is pretty much just like the brain map. So like after the kids like you read an unknown word in like a text or a reading or something like that, you just like write it in the center of a paper, and then like reread the context like of the word, like other words that you don't understand or things you might like, think are important, and then like from there going online, finding like definitions, adding those onto the map, stuff like that. And then like they talked about continuing to find ways to understand the words, so like find pictures, find examples, like not just a definition, like go farther into understanding it a little bit more. And then once you finish the map, like go back through the text again and like reread it like with this new understanding and see if, like how your idea of it changed. So then with the lesson plan, it really followed like the I do, we do, you do kind of format, which was nice. And so it was like first it's like really important to like make sure they understand what they're doing and why they're doing it, and that like it can be creative and there's a lot of different ways to do it. Like there's not a right or wrong. And then like it's important to do like the I do or like the modeling steps. So like the teacher first like kind of does it on the board and like thinks out loud while they're doing the semantic map, like sharing their processes with the class and giving like multiple like examples of different types of semantic maps, like showing others different ways that you can do it. And it's important to show some like poor examples and like talk about why was this a poor example? What characteristics of it made it not as good as it could have been? How could you have improved it? Kind of thing. And then that kind of goes into like the whole like we do thing. So like then doing it together and being like, okay, this is a word that none of us know. Now you guys like help me make it on the board. And like doing that, and then like setting them loose and giving them like multiple opportunities and multiple different like subject areas in order to like make their own semantic map. And then they had like the online forum as well. So it was like post all of those to the forum and like so they can all see them, and then post them around the room, like have different like mediums to where that they can find this material and look back on it, which I thought was cool. And then technology, it was like there's like a lot of different ways you can do it, like depending on like the needs of the kid. So like you can do it paper and pencil, you can do it on a tablet, you can do it on this, like she used like a smart board, or like there's a lot of different programs where you can do it into Word, or you can make a template and then print it off and let your kids use a template and like stuff like that.
That's really cool. I think like especially like I feel like last semester I took so many like special ed classes. I'm like, well, kids with disabilities, like it's cool for that. Like if they can't like write, then they can still like find meaning in the words and like map it out.
Yeah, and that like totally like I feel like goes along with like the UDL principles of like having multiple ways that students can do it so that they learn best. Like if this kid, like if you can't understand their writing, like it's important to like have a medium that they can use to where they can do the same process as well.
Yeah, like they can have like access to the same content, even if it's like in a way. That's really cool. Yeah, the UDL checkpoints that they talked about in mine were 8.1, which is 8 in the salience of goals, and then 8.3, which is like foster collaboration and communication, which I feel like is a really big one, like in anything, like to have the kids like learning from each other, and like you just kind of like step in when you need to, and like let them like work and like work things out and work out their problems, and like I don't know, I feel like so much of school like becomes, especially as they get older, like it becomes like you just working on your own. So it's cool that this is like have them work together, like make them like a team and not just like competitive, like who can get the best grade.
Yeah. When you like went on, because like I don't think that there were any like UDL checkpoints on mine. So did you just like on the bottom of like the activity thing on Blackboard, did you just like touch your thing and it pulled it up?
Yeah, so I went to like the website that was about like pre-writing. There was like a link at the bottom, I think. I don't remember what I clicked on now. And it was like connect this, or like it was like the live action lesson plan, and that's what had like this is the UDL principle that we're referring to. I don't know if it was like maybe just for that one or if they had them for all of them.
Let me go look because I was like super lost as to like I was like I think I'm like doing this, but I don't know. So let me see.
I felt so lucky that like I was able to watch like the other group do it last night because I was like, okay, now this makes sense. Like I got
this. That's helpful. Okay, so yours was okay. Let's go semantic map. Okay, you just had all of that. I know it doesn't really have as like a slideshow, but I don't think where it had like a lesson plan. Am I going crazy?
No, I'm looking on yours.
Maybe I'm going crazy. What was yours?
Pre-writing.
Okay. Pre-writing. So you did pre-writing and then you went down and touched the guide, read the complete pre-writing teaching strategy guide.
Yeah. That's what I clicked on. I'm looking like at yours and I don't see like where mine was. I don't see your same like information.
Okay, cool.
So I think maybe it just didn't have it for your strategy.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. But I mean, I feel like
You like made connections anyways.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, I feel like because what yours was like fostering. What did you say that the second UDL principle was?
Fostering collaboration and communication.
Yeah, and I feel like that falls under it as well because it's like let's collaborate with the teacher, let's collaborate with each other, let's communicate our ideas. I feel like that falls under the same.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially in this one when it's like having them like work together and yours like make the maps together. It's definitely collaboration.
Yeah. Okay, what other stuff do we need to talk about in this?
Honestly, I have no idea. Look at like the note thing. Oh, it says what types of instructional practice were used in the lesson. Well, definitely like that I do, you do, we do.
Yeah.
It's really harped on over and over.
Which I like that a lot, like thinking about that and thinking like on how I learn things best and stuff like that. Like my best classes were structured like that. Like everything, like it makes sense.
Yeah, like you get comfortable with something that you can watch someone do it and then like do it with help and like still like have like the support. So before you're like cut loose to figure it out on your own, have practice.
Yeah. Having like models and examples because I know that I like do really well when I like when I'm doing something by myself to like have an example to kind of like and go off of, and it's like I think that really fosters that because it's like that's pretty much helping it do that.
Yeah, like you foster independence by like providing that support in the beginning.
Yeah, and then they're gonna feel confident too because they have an idea of what they're doing. You've like walked around and made sure that they understand what they're doing, so they're not just like, okay, I lectured you about it, do it.
And then if they're
they're gonna feel
wrong, like you have a chance to catch it and like the we do stage to be like, okay, like this is like what we should be doing better. Like, how can we change this?
Yeah, like instead, let's try this.
Instead of just like, well, you get an F. Like, good job.
Honestly.
What types of educational technology? I feel like we talked about like the smart boards and the websites and like the class forum.
Yeah, which I like that they're using like Google Docs and forums like so early.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that's awesome because it's like those are tools that I wish I would have had to like be able to collaborate or like go see examples, like just a plethora of examples.
Yeah.
That I think that's so cool that they're using stuff like that because that's just going to help kids like collaborate at such a young age.
Yeah, especially like they're gonna learn so much more if they're like engaged. They love to be like on iPads and stuff. Like if they can sit there and like learn from their iPad, they're gonna do it.
Yeah, exactly. And they're gonna want to do what they're doing instead of writing on a piece of paper. And especially kids with disabilities that like they can't.
Yeah.
Like you're now allowing them to be involved in like the classroom and involved in like the activity you're doing just simply by using technology.
Yeah, like it's such an easy thing that you can like add in. And
yeah.
I mean, it's kind of expensive, but at this point, like I feel like most schools have like at least some access. Like at the very least, they have a computer lab, you know?
Yeah, and they get like grants and stuff for it as usually.
Yeah.
Usually. What UDL principles did you observe? Oh, we talked about that too.
I guess that's it. Right. It feels quick, but I guess if there's just two of us, it's going to be quicker.
Yeah, that's true. We summarized our instructional strategy.
So I'll go in and put a summary of the meeting, and then we just each at the bottom have to put like what. I'm just gonna like copy and paste the notes that I took. I think.
Yeah. So should I put my notes at the bottom?
Yeah, just like group number 4.
Oh, okay. So put it underneath
your own. Yeah, like where it says group member number 4. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna write Keegan.
And then just put that.
And then just copy and paste my notes under there.
Yeah. And then I'll text you when I finish the summary, and then you can share the document with Shannon.
Okay.
Well, I already shared it with her, but then she emailed us and like wants it in that other one.
Yeah, what was that email that she just sent out?
That like really confused me because I was like, okay, like I have this all like organized, like I figured it out, and then she was like, curveball, I want it here.
Just upload weekly notes into your folder.
Like once we get it done, I'll just stick it in that folder.
Yeah, that's probably fine, and then we can just like continue to use that folder instead.
Okay, and then I'll share we can like copy and, okay, so once I have it in that folder, I'll text you, and then we can just copy the link from there to submit on Blackboard.
Okay, because do we need to share this with her now, or do we just...
So the one that we're working on, I shared with her, and then that's when she emailed us and was like, hey, do it in the one in the class folder.
Oh, okay.
I think the one in the class folder is probably already shared with her.
Yeah.
I would assume. But I'll double check.
If not, we can email her and be like, we have it. If you need it, just like let us know.
Yeah, and then as long as we share the link, I think it'll be fine.
Okay.
I'm so nervous about like looking it up.
I know, because then we'll just like, I mean, if we don't share it, as long as I like send her the link, and then she's like, oh, actually, I can't get in. Like, okay, well, I sent it to you, so.
Got it. I'll just share it. I think it'll be fine. Okay, cool. Perfect. Hopefully next week there's more people in our chat.
That would be nice.
Whatever. Okay, have a good night.
Bye. You too. Bye.